Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of The First Ones to Die. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan. I am here with my co host, Jerome. Say what up, Jerome.
What's going on?
Alex is out today, but we do have a special guest here with us, our friend, our very good friend, Jazmine Shiloh. Hello, Jazmine.
Hi, happy to be here. So
Yes.
flattered that y'all asked me.
Do you want to do like a quick like introduction to who you are, Jasmine, and like you can choose. Listen, you could divulge as much as you want. We don't need your whole life story. Like, but yeah, well, I was born on four score, and but just
Four score.
I like
just
how before this podcast, she specifically asked, "Do I need to do an intro?" And we said no.
I meant
And
I
now
thought
you
she meant
asked
like
her
an
to do
intro
an
to the
intro.
rest of the podcast. I that is true. I'm sorry, put you on the spot, but
I'll give a little background. Um, I work in social services. I was born and raised in Western Washington. I am, I would say, a casual fan of like media and entertainment. I feel like, especially when we all worked together, I was always behind on what was out. So I'll be the average Joe here today for the and y'all are the experts.
Of
That's all I
course.
got.
For those who don't know, by the way, yes, Jasmine is also yet another usher. So
Former
for those who
usher.
know us from our behind the
Former
usher
ushers.
station days, she is also another usher, former usher from the IMAX theater.
So we have many stories. We've had many
Mhm.
chats. So we know
Mhm.
that we'll keep the conversation flowing in this episode.
Mhm.
Which I just thought about it. I was like, because we're not behind the usher station anymore, can we ever do a Tales from the Usher Station episode ever again? Because those were fun.
Maybe.
Reminiscing
I
on
mean, there are many
them.
tales. So.
There are many tales. Yeah,
There are
it's not like
many.
we would ever run out.
Mm-mm.
But today is not about the tales from the Usher Station. Today is about both the past year and the new year. So, Jonathan, tell them what what the format is going to be for this.
Yeah. So today we'll be doing kind of like a little round robin. We'll do each rounds of what we liked in 2020, things that we enjoyed. Then we'll do a round of things that we maybe didn't enjoy so much. Have a little discussion on each, and then we'll look forward to 2021, things that have been announced, because people like to throw in surprises. Albums like to be dropped a day after they're announced. Movies, who knows? In this time, we don't know what's going to happen next. So yeah, that's how we're going to do today. So starting it off, let's talk about some things that we did like in 2020. Let's start off on a positive note. um Jerome, what is something that you enjoyed in 2020 that you consumed, viewed, watched, listened to, etc.?
So, first of all, much like on our Wonder Woman review, I came prepared with props because I like to buy my media. Hold on one second.
Did you have props in the Wonder Woman review? I
I
don't
had the Wonder
remember.
Woman Dead Earth book.
Oh,
You know,
okay. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
hold on. All right. I got one of them.
Okay.
The other
Okay.
one's in here somewhere, but I'm not going to find it in time, and that's okay because I didn't come fully prepared as always. So, I got Run the Jewels 4 here. First of all, anybody who has not heard this album, listen to this album. All right, Killer Mike and LP. First of all, I have almost every Run the Jewels album except Run the Jewels 3 because for some reason the stores ain't got it on the shelves. I like to have my CDs on lock. So if you have a Run the Jewels 3 and you would like to sell it to me, I'll if you like to just give it to me, that'd be even better. Uh yeah, Run the Jewels 4 is super dope. Not only that, it also is very timely. I think my favorite two lines actually on that album are the first one being in Walking in the Snow. I think it's like something to the effect of like and you'll watch like a black boy like me on TV go from a shriek to a whisper that says, I can't breathe. And what's so crazy about that is that Killer Mike wrote that last year. or in
Mm.
2019, and it became so relevant in 2020 when the album came out. I think like a month after everything that happened with George Floyd. So it was that was impactful for me. And then also their song "Just" with Pharrell Williams and the lead vocalist from um, Rage Against the Machine. Uh, you know that lyric of "Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar," like that type of stuff. That's
Mhm.
the type of hip hop I really enjoy. So Run the Jewels 4 was dope. The other music thing I really enjoyed this year was The Weeknd's After Hours. Now I am not a Weeknd
Mm.
fan. I do not. I've never really gelled with The Weeknd. Not that he's not he's an amazing artist, fantastic singer. For some reason, his music just never was never anything where I'm like, gonna put on a Weeknd song. This album though, this sounds like a much more mature Weeknd to me. It sounds like a
Mm.
dude who's not you know, the find him, sleep with him, forget him type guy. He seems like the person where he's like, my heart's been broken, and I'm a broken man. Bella Hadid. I don't know if it's Bella Hadid. She's the girl he was dating for a long time, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
rumors that the album's kind of about her. Um, but nonetheless, it's one of his best pieces ever. He's been snubbed at the what is it called? The Grammys
Grammys.
for not being
Mm.
nominated for that album. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, that was surprising. He didn't get nominated once.
Yeah, that album was
Mm.
so good. I'm surprised he didn't get nominated for anything. But nonetheless, that was great. So in the music world, those are my two favorite things. Uh,
I think just real quick, I just think it's so funny that because I'm the opposite. I wasn't a huge fan of that album. And I'm thinking of like this tweet that was like, I miss when The Weeknd made haunted strip club music, which is the music that you obviously are not a fan of.
no,
But like
I'm
that's
not
my
into it.
weekend that I really like the haunted strip club. Like that's the weekend that I'm here for. So I think that's just funny.
I would have to agree with that because
Yeah.
I didn't listen to the album. So I don't have much room to judge. But um when I like his single like Blinding Lights, I wasn't a huge fan of that song, even though it was everywhere.
Neither was I until I heard the whole album, and in context, I was like,
Mm,
okay, this
Mm.
song makes more sense in context, because when it was just a single, I was like, what is this 80s pop thing he's doing? This is
mhm.
weird. Like, I don't know if I'm into this.
Yeah, so that's the main reason why I didn't really get into why I didn't listen to the album in the first place. But I might have to check it out.
It's cool. I like it. It's my type of vibe. But like Jazmine said, like, it is not traditional weekend affair. Like, I think there's only one song on there that's like the traditional, like Heartless is kind of like the one that's like the traditional weekend, like, I'm the best there is and I don't need no woman because can't nothing hold this down. Okay. Me and my helicopter hair are out. Yeah, also that's how I knew this album was different, because his hair looked normal. I was like, yeah, see, this is gonna hit different. um
I remember
but that was cool.
he was at the I think it was the AMAs where he like won all the awards. And then
Yeah.
it was weird because the
Mm.
next day, I think like the next day was the Grammy nominations, and he got no Grammy nominations when he just like had won all the AMAs. But he was performing, and before he performed, he accepted an award, and he had all the like scars on his face and the bandages and the makeup and everything.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the other thing I loved about the album, is how conceptual it was. It
Hmm.
reminded me of Childish Gambino's Because of the Internet. When that album
Mm.
came out, the whole album's about a character called the Boy. And so when the album was coming out, when he would do tours or go places, he would dress like the character. And he
Mm.
would even like his demeanor was a little more depressing or whatever, but only because he was just in character as the boy. It's why there's a uh what's it called? Sway in the Morning freestyle he did. And he was that character. And you could tell in his voice that he's not like the normal upbeat Donald Glover. that he normally is. And I was like, that's cool when an artist kind of goes full concept like that in music because it's very uncommon.
Mhm.
But I have more stuff. But just to give everybody else some time to talk, go ahead.
Well, let's go to our guest for today, Jazmine. What inspired or what did you enjoy in 2020?
Oh man. Okay. So I picked two films, two horror films.
Okay.
Do either of y'all have Shudder?
No,
No.
Alex has
Okay.
Shudder.
Alex has Shudder. Yeah.
Oh, isn't
You
that
should
that
get
like
her to give you the
isn't that
what?
the horror movie like streaming service?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I watched a movie called Scare Me. And it's like a horror comedy, and it's about this guy who is like doing a little writer's retreat in the like a cabin in the woods. And this girl, shit, I thought I saw a spider. This girl.
Talking about a
This
horror
girl.
movie and
I'm
what
just
is
yeah, I'm
happening
like
right now.
creepy crawlies on me. This girl ends up like staying with him in this cabin, and they're both writers, and she's a very, very successful writer, and they start telling each other scary stories to like scare one another.
Mhm.
And I don't want to give away too much, but it was like so different, so good, hilarious, very funny. And I'm really weird about comedy and horror. Like I'm very picky about it, and I thought it was very well done. The other one is okay. Have y'all seen The Invisible Man?
Yes.
I haven't yet, but
Oh,
feel free to talk about it. Feel free to
I
talk
had to
about it.
watch it because H.G. Wells' Invisible Man is my favorite sci-fi book slash. I guess it's not really a monster, but nonetheless, Invisible Man's my jam.
neat. It's definitely a good character. Yeah, that's a great
I
character to
love a
have.
good horror. I love it, or not horror. Sorry, good villain story. I love a good villain story, and I feel like
And
Invisible Man is like one of the best.
yeah, and I think that I'm like slowly starting to realize that like sci-fi horror is like, I mean, just elite. It's so good.
Mm,
So
Mhm.
just like the old sci-fi stories, like if we
When
could make
right.
those into horror more, because you're
Mhm.
right, the original Invisible Man isn't really a villain. He's very like Jonathan, do you know anything about the original Invisible Man?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Not
it's
too
like
much, at least.
it's this scientist who makes himself invisible, like, but he can't reverse it. And so he basically like descends into madness because I mean, like, we would all go mad, right? If we were
Hmm.
invisible and can reverse it.
It's the classic line of absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. I'm really glad that I chose to watch this because then I can talk about it. I watched The Invisible Man maybe like 4 days before 2020 was over, and then I watched it
Mhm.
the very next day again because it was so
Wow.
good. It is so good, just
I
wild.
it's been on my list. I think I have it written down as one of the movies that I need to watch, but
I
I haven't gotten
I
around to it.
liked it, but at the same time, I love though the joke. I've been hearing this as a lot of jokes where people are like, "So let me get this straight. This man has the ability to turn himself invisible in the modern day." And instead of using this technology or even selling it to like the military or something like that, he uses it to pick on this girl and not even like
Mhm.
just kill her outright. Cause that would be so easy. No, he's got to basically pull pranks on her where he's pulling the sheets off the bed instead.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like,
It's
that's so
like,
funny.
no, it is I do not scare easy at all. And I'd be like looking over my shoulder, like, is there an invisible man in here?
It
Like,
was, yeah,
what
it
is
was very
going on?
effective.
It was creepy
Mhm.
and
Ooh.
very not tropey, which I really appreciate. Like, there is a part, it's not a spoiler or anything. I don't want to spoil it at all, Jonathan, because you have to watch it.
Okay.
But there's this part where she thinks that maybe someone's sitting in the chair,
Hmm.
and she like throws a sheet over it, and there's no one there. And I like really loved that because like I expected someone to be there. And
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
tropey as hell, right? Like you
Right.
expect that. And then what happens after is even scarier, like actually terrified me. And
Ooh.
it's just like, just the bar has been raised, truly, I
How
think,
did
for horror.
how did you watch it? Did you watch it on Prime or
I watched it on Hulu. I will say that I have my HBO connected to my Hulu, so I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know which
okay.
one it's streaming
Oh,
on.
and it's on Hulu. Okay. And it's on, oh yeah, and it's on HBO. Okay, I have HBO Max too. So
Okay, so you should probably. I think it is like through HBO, through
Okay.
Hulu, but you
Yeah.
have to watch it.
It
so
is good.
Also, like
It is
Elizabeth
good.
Moss is like,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
when
Anything
is she
she's
gonna get her
in.
flowers for real?
For real.
Like, this girl kills it all the time. Like, no
I
matter
think she's
what.
gotten awards for Mad Men, right?
I think she did. Oh, and The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
She's got a lot for The Handmaid's Tale, but I just like, she's just so. I mean, just her facial expressions and like her breathing, and like that's the scary part of the movie is how she's reacting. Really, that's what makes it scarier. You have to watch it. I'm so excited for you to watch it. Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna watch it. I might watch it tomorrow. Who knows?
I also love you know, the first of all, Storm Reed also is amazing.
Storm Reed was great in
Storm
it.
Reed's
Yeah.
good, but I just laugh every time because I'm like, wait, let me get this straight. You live in the house with this chiseled black man who's just like
so buff,
who's a buff, handsome guy, nice dude,
handsome.
and single, and you telling me y'all ain't together? What's that about? Come on, brother. You got a nice life already.
Yeah, I'm happy that they don't get together though. I feel like it would have ruined the story.
It would have been tropey if they did get together because it'd been like, oh, you know. But I just thought that was interesting. It's very. I've been liking seeing more and more movies and TV shows where there is a man and woman in a platonic friendship.
Agreed. Completely.
In a movie, because I'm like, it is possible. I have friends that are women that I'm like, I don't see us ever being together. I don't, you know, I never think of them that way, but we're still cool. We're friends and we can operate in that zone. So I like seeing more of that in media, especially.
For sure.
Cool.
What are yours, Jonathan?
All right. So for mine, and I thought I had my list set, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, what are the two I'm going to pick? But I think I know at this point. I was originally going to go with two TV shows, but since Jerome brought an album out, I have to talk about an album that I know we all listen to because I know I've talked to you guys about it. And it's the Chloe and Halle album.
Yes.
That was a good album.
Yes.
That was so good.
Yes.
Every single song. And I am glad that, so they got nominated for like, I think 3 Grammys. And deservedly so, because this album is a bop and a half. I am the type of person who, you know, my favorite genre is probably R&B. But I more so am not like it's something about the new stuff that just hasn't gotten me 100% sold. I can't usually listen to an entire album and enjoy every single song out of new age R&B in this day and age. But Chloe and Halle, every single song on this album, I bump. I have bumped multiple times. Yes,
no skips
at all.
Rest of Your Life is my favorite song. I love that song.
Even though it's the last. What's your favorite song?
My on this album, my favorite song was probably either Ungodly Hour, or Busy Boy.
Busy Boy's my favorite.
Busy Boy's really good. That's a good song too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I mean, it just slaps from front to end, really. But the rest of your life is like my type of weird, quirky production that I just love. And I was surprised to see that. Was it Chloe that did a lot of the production on it?
She did production by herself for like 3 or 4 of the songs.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So
she is a good producer. She is really good.
And they're nominated for Don't Make It Harder on Me for the Grammys. And if they win that Grammy, it'll just be theirs because they produced it and wrote it themselves. They don't have to share the Grammy with any producers or anything. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All the props to them.
I remember seeing them for the first time when they sang. I think they sang at the Super Bowl or something, the national anthem. I was like, "Who are these two? Who's like nieces are these?" That they're like, "I want to sing for the Super Bowl too." And they did a good job. But I was like, "Who are these people?" And to see them now and to listen to this album, I'm like, "Nah, y'all are going places. and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's so
excited to
grown
see where
up.
they go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so grown up compared to like The Kids Are All Right, which is like still a great album. But it's like, and I'm just really impressed with. I don't know if did you all see that interview that they did before they released it? How they talked about the first time that they played it for Beyonce,
Yes, and how they were
and
saying that
they're
that she had like no notes, and
yes,
she always has notes.
yes. And that's how they knew that it was like good and like finished because
Mm-hmm.
like Beyonce had nothing,
I
yeah,
mean,
no
that's a
notes
good
about it.
bar to live by. Like if
Yeah, for
Beyonce is like,
sure.
nah, this is gold right here. You like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mhm.
have no notes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
props to them and their talent. And props
Mhm.
to Halle for Little Mermaid.
Yes,
They're doing it.
See,
No
they're
pun
I would
killing it.
intended.
I would be more excited, and it's nothing to do with Halle. I'd be more excited if they haven't dropped the ball on like every single one of the Disney remakes with
Oh
Disney
yeah,
the company. Like
yeah.
Halle,
Okay,
I'm
I
sure
have
she'll be fine, but it's like here's the thing though, she's only one part of an entire production, and then, therefore it's like. I don't think you can save it, Halle. I don't think even you, as talented as you are, can save this whole movie by yourself.
okay, I have a feeling that The Little Mermaid is not on your looking forward to 2021 list.
No, no, I'm done. See, I would Mulan was the last straw. I had so much faith for that movie, and as soon as that movie came out and I saw it, and I was like, so this is what we doing, huh? This how it's gonna be, Disney. You gonna do me like this? I defended you, and you just gonna smack me in the face like that with with disappointment. Nah, I'm
um,
done.
okay, so the other thing that I had that I really liked in 2020, it came late in 2020, but it was on HBO and HBO Max. The Undoing, the series with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, Hugh
Yes.
Grant.
Okay.
Yes. I went into this show, so I had heard a lot of buzz about it. I went into it being like, I don't know if it's necessarily gonna be the type of show that I like. Apparently, if you liked Big Little Lies, which I haven't seen Big Little Lies, but it's on my list. Apparently,
Good.
if you like that, it's in the same realm. It's based on a book that's by the same author.
Mm.
Okay.
So yeah, and it did not disappoint. Part it's mostly murder mystery ish, but it's just like rich, wealthy white people getting into mess.
Love it.
And yeah,
Love it.
the main thing that got me onto the show was Issa Rae tweeted, yeah, she's like, I'm all into The Undoing. I love white mess. So
I love her.
yes.
Oh
So I
man.
100% recommend this show. And who knows, I might check out the book afterwards. So
I've watched Big Little Lies. Um, and I do want to watch The Undoing. I've seen a lot of stuff about like Nicole Kidman is just like always in distress. Like no
yeah.
matter what role she plays, she's like because she is in Big Little Lies, like she's in distress.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a lot of Nicole Kidman being sad
Yeah.
from what
And
I've heard for The Undoing.
in this, it's amazing because her face is just like stoic the entire time. I don't think her face moves for like most of the TV show, most of the series. But then I watched the movie on Netflix, The Prom, that she's in, and it's like a total 180. I'm like, is this a different person? It's a musical. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I haven't seen
Um
it.
it's fun, it's enjoyable. But yeah, The Undoing is great.
Very nice. Okay, I'll have
Yes.
to. I'll watch it. I'll watch
Cool.
it.
It's on my
And it's
list.
only 6 episodes.
Oh yeah, then I'll blow
Yeah,
through
See, I'm
easy.
behind on all the HBO Max miniseries because I'm still trying to finish The Flight Attendant. I still have to watch Raised by Wolves. Like I've got so many to like hop on to.
Oh, HBO Max is my jam right now. I'm binging every single HBO and HBO Max show
Oh,
right
and then
now.
I gotta watch The Industry. That's the new
I
HBO
I was
show.
watching that today. I was watching that today.
Yeah, I got a lot of shows to catch up on. I'm so behind on my HBO Max watching. It's mostly because of Fresh Prince, man. Been binging Fresh Prince. That's all I've been watching on HBO.
He's been watching Fresh Prince this whole time.
Wait, it's
Yeah.
on HBO?
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine is shook.
That just changed my life.
Yeah.
When I was in, oh my gosh, so like almost a year ago now, when I was in New Zealand, um, we were using like the Netflix at the Airbnb I was at, and
Mhm.
the Netflix had Fresh Prince on it in New
Really?
Zealand.
How do they get it before us?
Thank you.
Because they didn't make the HBO Max had Fresh Prince. I don't know if they had it back then at that point when you were in England, but because HBO Max wasn't around then. But
It was wild. Yeah, same. I was like, why don't we have it? The American show? I mean, I'm happy for the Kiwis. That's like good for them.
Yeah.
yeah, I've just been. It's just ever since the reunion, I was like, I watched Fresh Prince, but I don't remember all of it. Let me watch the whole series.
Hmm.
Um, it's been a great experience, and also surprise, it's one of the few sitcoms where I'm like, this still holds up. Like the jokes still
Mm-hmm.
land. I some
Yeah,
of them
it does.
I wasn't around. Like I just wasn't around for all of the '90s pop culture, so they make pop culture references where I'm like, I don't know who that is. Um, but for the most part though, the jokes still land, the messages are still relevant, not just the ones that are
Mm-hmm.
politically, about politics. Some of just the lessons that Uncle Phil drops on uh Will and Carlton. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna tell my kids that one day. Like, so it still holds up. It's a really good show. I'm surprised at how, because some shows you watch, like when I watch Saved by the Bell, I'm like, this is like
It's
nostalgic,
dated.
but this belongs in its time period. Like, but Fresh Prince, I'm like, you can watch like at least now, in 2020 or 2021 now. You could still watch this and be like, nah, this still is relevant today. And I can
Hmm.
still learn a lot from watching Fresh Prince, even though it was made back in like the 90s.
Hmm. All right. Well, moving on to some of the things that we maybe didn't appreciate as much in 2020. Uh, Jerome, would you like to share with the class something that you didn't appreciate? We know you didn't like Mulan. I don't know if that is your choice,
No, that
but
wasn't my choice. I was gonna say, and I hate to get political, but it has to be said. I couldn't stand the many companies who hopped on the BLM bandwagon because it was trendy and cool, and so they could
Mhm.
save face in front of the audiences. More specifically, the NFL, because I am still mad at the NFL who, despite it, like whether or not they wanted to support Colin Kaepernick specifically, that's fine. But at the very least, with all that money y'all make every year, you telling me y'all couldn't do nothing to support the man's, at least his movement, to try and put out some awareness, to do any of the stuff you're doing now because it's trendy to do it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
all over they have commercials. We support Black lives. We should stop. We're fighting for diversity. Get out of here. Like, get out of here. You're fighting for
Mhm.
diversity because it'll make you some money. Like, and more black people watch football than you expected.
Mhm.
Shout out,
Ridiculous.
shout out to and this is just one company out of many, but shout out to Ben and Jerry's because
Always.
they are they have been for the cause before all of this, and they have still been for the cause after all of the hashtags and everything died out.
Mhm.
They've just been doing great work educating people, even if they get comments here and there that are like stick to ice cream. I just appreciate them and had to give them a little shout out.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, Also, NBA. I know that like they've been, also jump on the bandwagon. If y'all want to do something, or not NBA, sorry, Nike specifically. If you want to do something for the BLM movement, take your shoes, drop y'all prices down. God dang, y'all still charge black people. Y'all know black
Stop
people buy
using
your
slave
shoes.
labor
Right.
and make your prices cheaper. Yes.
You know for a fact your demographic is black people. That's why all the only spokespeople you have is black. Y'all ain't had a white spokesperson since ever. So, so what y'all need to do is drop them prices down. People ain't trying to spend no $130 for some KDs. All right. Like make them shoes affordable and tell Kanye to stop making the Yeezys so goddamn expensive too. While you're at it.
The Yeezys. Tell them to stop making them ugly.
That too.
That too. That too. That part.
That's my last piece on the BLM stuff. But other than that, also I have to like, all right, so the company's got some. I also gotta, talk to the man upstairs real quick. Being a Christian man, I believe in God, God's my main man. However, you gonna take Black Panther from us, God? Really? That man is a national treasure. And being from South Carolina, Chadwick Boseman is also a state hero because he's from South Carolina. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, to take him. I'm like, we only have but so many famous South Carolinians that we can be proud of. All right. You gonna take the one that represents all of the black goodness in the world. He done played all of the important biopic people. He done been Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, James Brown. Come on. You gotta leave us something.
Something.
Man.
So, those are my things. Like, they just come off the top of the head because I don't want to take up too much time because 2020 was a rough month. Oh, one last thing. And this is very recent, though, is why I mention it. Also, rest in power to MF Doom. One of the best underground rappers out there. I didn't appreciate your music as much when you were alive, but I appreciate it a lot more now now that you're gone. So for those who are huge Doom fans, listen to your MF Doom records, whether it's Operation Doomsday, any of his many collaborations. MF Doom is dope. And if you've never heard of him and you're a rap fan, listen to some MF Doom. You will not regret it.
Dang. Well, mine wasn't nearly as deep as all of that. 2020, it was a horrible year. We had a lot of terrible things happen. But for mine, I chose a TV show that we actually talked about on this podcast.
Did we?
Yeah, and it was the Umbrella Academy season 2.
Ooh.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I loved season 1. I absolutely loved it. I cherished it. I enjoyed it. Season 2 just did not hit it for me. Between all of the storylines that did not seem to mesh well together, I really had this thought over time, and when I was looking back at it right now, I'm like, what can I put the Umbrella Academy between the fact, like, I wasn't really entertained by a lot of it, except maybe the beginning and maybe the end. In the middle, I was just watching it because I knew we had to talk about it on the podcast. Otherwise, I probably would have stopped it like episode 5. I'm sorry, Umbrella Academy, but you just did not get it this time for me. It was just not you didn't hit it out of the park. But now that I've watched all of season 2, I can go into season 3. If we don't talk about it on here, I can give it a chance. And yeah.
I just didn't like that. Elliot Page now, but at the time, Ellen Page, that they were playing basically themselves. I was like, I get what you're doing, and I respect that the character is now an LGBT character. At the same time, though, because they had the whole amnesia plot, it feels like Vanya is just a completely different person, and is more just Elliot Page being Elliot Page in a show. So I don't know what that's. They have said that because Elliot Page has decided to go by he him pronouns. That is it he him, or are they going by they?
It's both.
I think you said he they.
Okay. That they are going to address that in Umbrella Academy season 3. So as far as like catering the character to their sexuality and their gender. So I was like, all right, that's cool. That's cool that they're doing that and paying some respects to the actor. But at the same time, just I thought that was weird. I was like, you are playing a character, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes in season 3. I might like it. I might end up being like, you know what, this is a good change for the character, and I dig it. So it all depends on how they write it, really.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I have no comment on that part. But yay for Elliot Page.
Yes. That's a good thing that happened in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That was my only real thing that I had, like entertainment and media wise. I feel like everything that I consumed, I liked. I think, yeah. And I know we just had a conversation about this with, with somebody else, but
Yeah, that's not bad. Sometimes you just have like, because I mean, we already did, like, for those who don't know, when we were behind the usher station, we did an episode on coronavirus and everything. So we're not, if you're expecting us to be like, what's your thing you hated in 2020? It was the virus, right? Am I right, guys? Like, we're not gonna do that because we've already done that. Everyone's talked about the virus. There's no need to rehash what we already know. So don't expect to hear anything about the virus or anything like that. We're not going to talk about it.
yes. Jazmine, what is
It
something?
was, yeah, it was difficult for me to pick like a dislike as well. I think for me, a big part of that is just I'm always behind when it comes to like media. So like just lack of exposure, I think is more what that was. Um, but I will say the first thing that came to mind was Lana Del Rey and
Oh yeah,
her
that happened
I
last
forgot
year.
about
whatever
that.
the hell. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like in the summer, I think.
Dang.
It
I think
was
it was like
like the
in
summer.
May.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that. I remember
Oh my
that.
god. Just like I loved Lana. Um, the basic in me loved Lana. The like love her. And I mean her album was critically acclaimed, like the most recent one that she released. So it seemed really weird for her to like, first of all, girl, you are not Beyonce. Why you even put her in that? Like, come on.
So I
Beyonce is a celebrity to celebrities. Like, you stop it. Why did you
It's
even
true.
name her here? What
so
did you think you were gonna accomplish?
I remember set the context because I remember she named like she said, why aren't I as big as all of these women, and she named like mostly black women, right?
Yeah, so her complaint was that like wait, okay, first of all, when did WAP come out? That was late summer, right?
That
That
was
was
late
late
summer,
summer. That was,
like
but I think
Okay.
that was
August
before,
maybe.
or I think that was that after or before that. I know Sugar came out before the Lana Del Rey stuff. So I think
Okay.
she was, because I wasn't sure if she was referencing like stuff like Savage and stuff like
Yeah, like
that,
the
Oh
or if
issue
yeah.
WAP
was
had came
that
out.
she was like talking about, she was like, I get criticized for talking about like sex and like horrible relationships. I'm like paraphrasing horribly. Um and basically like has received a lot of criticism in the past for the type of relationships that she portrays. Like she does the Lolita thing a lot and like all valid criticism, right? But your music isn't the same as like the women that you named, like Beyonce. And then I think she did name Cardi. She definitely named Ariana Grande. Who like I think Ariana Grande was like the only white person that she named
Mm-hmm.
in that.
She
Um,
also named Meg the Stallion, right? I think so, maybe.
I
I don't.
know. I feel like
I don't think
I don't think
so.
she did. I think she named Nicki Minaj
Nicki Minaj. Okay.
specifically. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like a weird time. It was like you could have just sat here and like got your money with your 50s hair and I would have never known this about
Well,
you. Like,
because my
Should have just
biggest
sat there and ate
thing
your food.
should have
about her
just sat there and
comments,
ate your food.
because I was like, you act like Taylor Swift didn't get all the criticism for years.
For
about
years. Yeah,
that her
absolutely.
music is strictly just her talking about her failed past relationships. Like you're not, it's nothing new. Everybody like has their thing that they get criticized for, especially the female artists.
Mm-hmm.
That's, it sucks to say, but that just is what it is. Like a lot of female
Mm-hmm.
artists get criticized for certain things. When Nicki Minaj first came out, she got a lot of criticisms because people were like, all she talks about is sex. And like,
Also, remember when Anaconda came out? The music video
yeah,
for Anaconda?
yeah,
Come
like
on.
Nicki got a lot of heat. So it's like, I didn't understand Lana's the big thing of like people criticize, like, yeah, Lana, you're gonna get criticized. You can't kind of take it personally. Art is very subjective. The stuff you make, everybody's not gonna like. But you have fans. You have people that like your
Yeah.
music, both
Yeah,
male and
big time.
female. So it's like, I, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like, yes, you got people that don't like your music, ignore them. If they buying your CDs to hate on it, look, they already spent the money, so it don't matter. Like, enjoy the
And
people who do.
it just seemed especially weird to like name drop those women when like her album was critically acclaimed.
Right.
Like her album was well received. So what more do you want? Is like kind of how I felt. Like
Yeah.
you didn't get bad reviews on your album. Everyone loved it. So why are you throwing Black women under the bus? Because you're not Beyonce? I also want to be Beyonce. So what? Like, it was wild. Also, just with how I think she named Rihanna maybe as well. I should have like wrote them down, but just with and the way that Beyonce just does not get into mess like that. Like she
Beyonce
posts her Instagram
surprisingly,
photos and goes.
Yep.
yeah.
So what? And like,
She wasn't paying no mind to Miss Del Rey.
no,
No, at all.
no. Does she know who Lana is?
I'm
Like,
Beyonce is one of those people. I'm surprised how famous, as famous as Beyonce is, that you do not hear a lot about Beyonce as far as like drama. Like you do not hear
no,
a lot
she's
about
very
what
in
Beyonce's
control of her
got going
image.
on drama wise. Like you'll hear like if she announces something like, hey, like me and Jay are going on tour again or something like that. But you'll never hear like, oh, Beyonce smacked Cardi B upside the head. Turns out she was talking smack. Like you never hear something
I
like
know, because y'all remember how big the elevator thing was?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
that got leaked, when
That's what
Solange was beating
shocked
Jay-Z's
me.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was
shocked
huge.
me. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised they caught that footage. I'm surprised. I would have thought somebody would have
I
deleted
think
that or something.
no, I think it was like a hotel, like someone who worked at the hotel who like leaked it.
Because I remember it was pretty grainy. It was
Yeah.
grainy footage, like somebody had
We all watched
taken
it.
it off. Yep,
We all watched
all
it.
Well, because everybody, and it just confirmed what everybody knew, which was like, Jay-Z's cheating on Beyonce, and then Lemonade came out, and then we were like, oh no, he definitely cheating on Beyonce. Then 444 came out, and we're like, yeah, you cheated on Beyonce. Yeah, you lucky you Jay-Z, because if you were anybody else, she would have left.
But she just stays to herself, and people just come for her all the time. She could be sitting there eating her food, and people will just come to her. And she doesn't do interviews. I remember I saw the clip from when she got punked. It was a Christmas tree. She was putting the star on the Christmas tree,
Yes.
and they knocked it over and acted like it was her fault. And somebody in the comments said, "This is why Beyonce doesn't do interviews anymore for y'all."
Straight facts though. Yeah, she stays out of the public eye.
Yeah, her and J-Lo always impress me. J-Lo especially, where I'm just like, y'all are getting up there in age and y'all still look fantastic. Y'all giving girls that are twice y'all's age a run for their money as far as like,
Beyonce's only like 39 though.
That's true. J-Lo's the one who's like really up there.
Is she older?
J-Lo is, I think,
J-Lo's
like
50.
close to 50, if not
She's
50.
in her 50s.
No,
but she looks
know
great.
that. Yeah, she looks good
like
as hell.
30.
Yeah, I did not know that she was in her 50s.
fact,
she looks good as hell.
Yeah, she just released a single where the cover is her in the nude, but it's like a profile, so you can't, you don't see anything. But you can see like the ab print. She's got her 6-pack and stuff, and I was like, dang, J-Lo, like you still doing it. You still out here fit doing the thing. Although I still feel like we had, I forget where where we talked about this, but she has twin children. One of them is his son, and I'm just like, that boy's gonna have it hard. He's gonna have it so
Oh my
hard.
God.
All his friends gonna be like, hey, let's go over to your house real quick. Look, my mom's not home. Okay, just like you're not going over to my place. Dang, man, your mom ain't never home. What's going on?
Isn't she the reason that we have Google Images? Or is that,
Oh yeah, that's
did
right.
I make that up?
Because I heard this somewhere that her picture in the infamous dress that she wore at the Grammys,
The
I
that
green
is
heard
like
one?
the
that,
most
yeah.
popular image on Google Images or something like that.
Which is funny because Kim Kardashian poses nude forever to be like, I'm gonna break the internet, and J Lo's like, I'll do it clothed. Beat
Yeah,
that.
and from like 2002 or something.
Right. Like,
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, her wearing that was a lot more scandalous back then for sure.
Yeah.
Today, that probably wouldn't get like any, I don't want to say scandalous because the people loved it, but it
Mhm.
was like definitely a pop culture moment.
yeah, I
Mhm.
remember. I remember Rihanna did the same thing one year when she had that,
The
like,
crystals.
yeah, the like
Is that the one
crystal
you're
dress or
talking
whatever.
about?
Yeah, where you
Mm-hmm.
could see right through it, and you're just like, and it just the internet was destroyed that day of just a bunch of people looking up that dress.
Didn't she
Although
have
it
like
was,
a crystal do rag on?
yeah, she had like
Love
a,
it. Love
yep.
it. So here for it.
Rihanna. Well, speaking of people who might be, relevant in 2021, Rihanna, we waiting on that album, sis. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
let's get into the things that we're looking forward to. I guess since you guys have gone, I'll go first on this one.
Mhm.
Uh, I put two, along with the vaccine and hopefully getting out of this COVID mess and all of these horrible things that are happening. Um, I put a little bit of levity on here with my two picks. My first is a movie that is coming to Netflix next month. It's called Malcolm and Marie. It's starring Zendaya and John David Washington.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
forgot
it's
about this movie. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
It's they filmed it I think in May, so it was one of the first projects to film in the COVID world. They filmed it in a bubble, apparently, in this one house for less than $1 million. Apparently, Zendaya reached out to the creator of Euphoria saying, "Hey, I want to do this project. Can you write a script?" They made the script, got John David Washington on. Apparently, those are the only two people in the movie. They
Hmm.
star as a couple, and um, it's been described as like Marriage Story that came out on Netflix. I haven't seen
Ooh,
it yet.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't seen it yet either.
I'm gonna watch
yeah,
that.
it's in black and white apparently too.
Yeah, they
Malcolm and
released a
Marie.
still
Ooh.
of it with
Yeah.
John David. I think because I follow Zendaya on Instagram, and she posted a still of her and John David Washington in like a black and white still. So I was like, oh yeah, you guys are filming a project.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to be watching that. I think February 5th is when it comes out on Netflix. And
Hmm.
I just
Okay.
learned that. So
It's so weird that Zendaya, because she looks so young, she in Euphoria, she's like in high school and like not even a senior. She's like, I think like a sophomore or a junior in high school. And then in this movie, I'm sure she's playing an adult.
yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, you saying that like she's married to John David Washington, like how old is he?
he's like in
Because
his
I feel like he's
30s.
older than her.
Yeah,
He
he's like in
She's
looks
his
younger
way
late.
than we
older than
are,
her.
right? She's younger than we are,
She's
right?
yeah, I feel like
Uh,
she's let me look this up real quick. I feel like
well, she might be my age because I'm younger than both of you.
she's 24
Okay.
and
So she's yeah,
John David
she's younger.
Washington is 36.
Wow.
So that's going to be interesting.
Because I was like, John David
Hopefully
Washington
it's some good
looks
acting.
Yeah.
old, looks much older. So I was like, I know Zendaya isn't. It's just like the Dakota Fanning effect. I know Dakota Fanning is an adult, like she's well into her 20s,
Oh yeah.
going on her 30s. But when I look at
Grew
her,
up with
I
her.
still see
Mm-hmm.
like Secret Life of the Bees, young
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah,
Nealon.
she's so.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other thing that I had was a movie that was actually supposed to come out in 2020, but obviously because of COVID, it did not. And it's In the Heights. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
yes, Lin-Manuel Miranda's
Mm-hmm.
musical. I just learned I haven't seen any adaptation of In the Heights, but I know I'm probably
Hmm.
gonna love it. I didn't know that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote the whole musical when he was in
Hmm.
college. And he wrote it. He was like 21 or 22, and it's just gone gone on to become this huge phenomenon. Um, I'm really excited about that. It looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be great music. I like the cast. Um, so I'm pretty excited about that. I wish I would have been able to see it because we probably, if the IMAX theaters were still open, we probably would have gotten it in IMAX just to see that on the
Mm.
big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I don't mind watching it, on the smaller screen.
Well, my theory about all those movies when is that they will, like, at least if as a like as a person who thinks about film marketing, they would be dumb to not be like, hey, we're gonna bring this movie back in theaters now that COVID's over. Come see like
Mm.
all these, because they do it now. Like before COVID, Cinerama. For those who've never been to Seattle, there's a Cinerama theater here, and they play old
There
movies
was.
all the
It's out of business
time.
now, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, because they
Mm-hmm.
were renovating just before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened. So then it's like,
Hmm.
okay, now we have to stay closed. Um,
There was also some shady stuff going on because they laid off
They
their
were being
employees.
weird.
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's another
but they were
conversation.
they were showing like they would show like Blade Runner, for example, and it's like Blade Runner is like a movie from the '80s, and they still bring it back to like show it on
Mm.
the big screen. So I feel like a lot of these companies that like their movie didn't come out on the big screen this year or last year rather, it's like you would be a fool not to be like, okay, as soon as the theaters open though, we're gonna re-release it maybe for a month and make and try and make our money back and see if we can make, because it won't be the same as watching it on your streaming service of choice at home. Like there are some people who are they're gonna want it. There are people now who are gonna want to see Wonder Woman 84, even though they've seen it on probably HBO Max 3 or 4 times. They're gonna want to see it on the big screen. It just
Hmm.
is what
Hmm.
it is. So, you know, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, within the Heights, a couple of the actors from Hamilton are also going to be in the movie version, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I know.
Is
I'm
David
forgetting his.
Diggs gonna be in it?
I don't think so. I don't know. But I
He's my
know
favorite.
I
I'm
love him.
forgetting his name
Yeah.
right now, but he was also in A Star is Born. He played
Anthony
Anthony
Ramos?
Ramos. Yeah.
Ramos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anthony. I
Yes.
think it's Ramos. Is it? It's
Ramos or
Ramos or
Ramos.
Ramos. I can't. He actually just got married in the.
Oh yeah, to his Hamilton
To
co-star.
Jazmine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jazmine, you're getting married to Anthony. Good for you. Got a Hamilton alum.
Also, we should shout out Jazmine because she won an Emmy in
Yeah.
2020
Oh
and her dad
yeah.
did. And they are the first
Yes.
family members to win in the same year, and that's rad.
Shout out to them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thinking of Daveed Diggs real quick and Jazmine, she's in a movie with Daveed Diggs called Blind Spotting that he also wrote.
I've heard that's a
Oh,
good one.
okay.
I've heard that's a really
That
good one.
movie is that movie for a long time. My favorite movie of all time was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I love that movie. Blind Spotting was the movie to take that spot. That movie is
Wow.
so good. It's so timely. It is one of the best
Cool.
movies ever. If you've not seen Blind Spotting, those who are listening out there in the world, do watch Blind Spotting if you get a chance. Because unfortunately, people didn't really watch it when it was in theaters because it was a very low budget. Um, but it's a great movie. It's a great
Is
film.
it on streaming?
I think it was on HBO. I don't know if it's still in there
Okay.
now. Normally HBO likes to keep their movies for a long time, so I think it's still up there. So you could probably watch on HBO Max. But it's a great time. It is funny, but it's also it has a lot of great commentary, mostly on identity and Black identity, especially amongst like white people that grow up in the hood, and you hear the stories all the time of like, well, I'm not acting Black. I grew up here. This is just me. And it's like it talks a
Mm,
lot about that type of thing. So it's a great movie.
cool.
Cool. Well, Jerome, what are you looking forward to in 2021?
Uh, a few things. The first one, like we were talking about Fresh Prince earlier. But for those who don't know, I think it was last year or the year before last year. A guy, I forget his name, but he did a fan trailer, uh, of Fresh Prince. That's like a
Mhm.
drama, like retelling of Fresh Prince. Essentially it was like a proof of concept pitch of like, hey, what if Fresh Prince was like taken seriously? Like it wasn't a sitcom, it was like a drama. And it came out today, like you talked about modern politics, whatever. And it was a great trailer, filmed really well, and somehow it caught the eye of Will Smith, who saw it and reacted to it on his YouTube channel. And he interviewed the guys who made it, and they were talking. And so this year, they've actually gone in and made it an actual show. So this year, Bel
Mhm.
Air is what it's called, and it's coming out on Peacock, the streaming service. So I'm excited. I wasn't sure if there's nothing on Peacock that I was really interested in until now. So when Bel Air comes out, I'm excited. I'm gonna get Peacock so I can watch Bel Air. Hopefully they get the cast from the trailer in there, the like fan trailer they made. I don't think they will though, because I'm sure the studio will be like, we want some big names in here.
Mhm.
Um, but
Mhm.
nonetheless, the fact that they like, I love stories like that where it's like Joe Blow, like lowbrow filmmaker who nobody knows, make something, and then they get a whole show and stuff.
Mhm.
That's really cool.
Mhm.
And really cool on Will Smith to do that, to like
Mhm.
put somebody on like that. The other
Or
thing I'm
like
excited.
when Twitter threads get movie deals or like TV
Yeah,
shows or
Mhm.
whatever. It's like
Mhm.
it's started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Mhm.
exactly. Mostly because also I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm a nobody filmmaker trying to make it. So to see somebody else make it is like, it gives hope, especially black
Mhm.
filmmakers, especially.
Mhm.
Um, but also talking about people of color, I'm also excited for, and this is also going my, everyone knows I'm a comic book fan. Super hyped for Shang-Chi. I am
Mm.
so excited for an Asian American superhero film.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if they were ever going to do Shang-Chi. Everyone was complaining when Iron Fist came out. And I was like, what y'all want is a Shang-Chi show. So if Marvel does Shang-Chi, sure, I'm all for it. And so my hope is that they will put the same effort and care that they did into Black Panther into Shang-Chi. I think Asian American fans of comic books and of Marvel in general would appreciate it. But also, we don't get a lot of big budget, like all like they're saying it's going to be a predominantly Asian cast. So it's like we don't get a lot of those very often. The last one we had
Mm-mm.
was
Crazy
the
Rich Asians or the
rom-com.
farewell.
Probably Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich
Yeah,
Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. And then yeah,
Mhm.
uh
The
what'd you
farewell,
say,
but
Jonathan? Yeah.
the farewell,
That
but
Oh,
was
the
that wasn't
close.
like
farewell.
yeah, that wasn't as big as Crazy Rich Asians, but
Yeah.
still, it
So
was.
they in fact they released some test footage of some of the stunt work for Shang-Chi. It looks good. It looks really funny, but also like, legit kung fu, none of this people flying on wires and stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see if they um do it well. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with Captain Marvel because I was like, all right, y'all gonna do your first female superhero movie. Here we go. Y'all did great with Black Panther. Can't wait to see it. And I like Captain Marvel, but I just felt like it wasn't as um gun ho as they were about Black Panther.
Mm.
Just although I did love the direction that movie. I think the direction holds the message of feminism better than any dialogue they say in that film at all.
I have
So
a question. So this
yes.
character, Shang-Chi,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I mean when I'm like behind. Uh, who is playing that character?
I don't know his name. I know he's like I know is he Jonathan, you know more about him than I do. I don't know if he's Chinese or
I don't know more about
Japanese.
I don't know more about him, but I do
Yeah, I'm gonna
know
look it up.
that like 2 or 3 years before he got cast, before it was announced that he was playing the character, he tweeted Marvel at Marvel, I would love to play this character. And that was one of the big stories that came out
Nice.
of the casting. So it's like if you speak it into existence, you never know.
Manifest it. Manifest it.
Exactly. That's what we need to do in 2021.
Because I feel
So-
like I saw something about this, but I don't know who that character is. So I think it just like went over me. But if you name the actor, that probably will bring it back for me.
Well, his name is, I don't know, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name, guy, but his name is Simu Lee, I think is how you pronounce it, maybe. It's spelled
yes. Okay. No, I do know what we're talking about. Yes. He is very cute.
Yeah. he's
Good choice.
From Canada, but he's Chinese traditionally. He was born in China, so his parents are Chinese. But he's, he looks like he's gonna be a great fit. Like from the test footage I'm looking at on Google, they like have some of the cast members they've announced so far. Aquafina's in the movie, so that's cool.
Oh, is she?
I didn't know that.
Michelle Yeoh is also in the movie, so that's great. So I'm excited for the film. I'm excited that they're putting some time and effort into it, especially also while we're talking about Marvel, also cool that they are doing a Miss Marvel show with Kamala Khan, who is a Muslim American character. So I'm digging that too. Glad they're going that route. She just starred, like the character, just starred in the video game of the Avengers. So some people know her probably by now because they've played the video game, but I'm hoping more. I was hoping it would be a show because bigger budget, they get to do a lot more. But still, a show is better than nothing. So I'm excited for the representation in superhero movies because I feel like after Black Panther, that's just seeing is believing. And so with Black Panther, it's proof of concept that like you can do people of color in superhero movies and it'll make money if you put the time and effort in to dedicate yourself to being like, we're not just going to exploit this culture. We're going to really show it off and show the best parts of it and make it.
And specifically those movies like made by the people that are represented in the films. Like it was so important that the director was Black for Black Panther. Like that made all of the difference completely.
Yeah. So
yeah, because you can definitely tell when it's not a
Yes.
team of the people.
No,
who
because
it's
Jonathan's
supposed
gonna
to
say
be
the same thing. Jonathan and me are on the same page. He's saying all the things I'm saying. That's why I'm like in agreement. I'm like, no, you took my point, but you said it the way I was pretty much gonna say it. So
Yeah.
like so those are the things I'm excited about. I don't think there's anything else that comes to me right now. Oh, and of course, because it got pushed back, Candyman. I was so sad that Candyman. I'm sorry. Look, we could share it, Jazmine. We could share it.
Let's
go ahead.
Girl.
Go share about Candyman. I won't take all your thunder.
Okay, first of all.
Okay, that leads us
into
into Jazmine's. That leads us into Jazmine's.
Yeah.
Jazmine.
We're gonna back up. So, first of all, love that it's directed by a Black woman. Love that I believe her name is, I can't remember her middle initial, Vanessa D, I think it is. Vanessa D. Williams was in the original one. She's like in the trailer. Hasn't aged, of course. That they're bringing her back, I think is really important. I am so happy that they remixed Say My Name. Like I can't get over it for the trailer.
That was cool. That was very on brand.
I cannot get over it. And I hope that they do, like they release it like they did with what was it in Us? Yes. I got vibe on it. Yeah, the remix. Yeah.
Vanessa Estelle Williams.
Okay, Vanessa E. Williams. Okay. Not the other Vanessa Williams.
Not
Vanessa E. Williams. Okay, yeah. I'm very excited to see her. Yeah, I'm just very excited for Candyman. I think it's gonna be really, really good. But I am very sad that it got pushed back. But I'm also really glad that they didn't choose to like stream it. And that they are gonna release it in theaters so that
is it?
Nia can get her coin. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I think it's August now is what they're shooting for.
Okay.
It's just Yahya Abdul-Mateen, man. He's getting around. He's been in so much.
I'm so excited for him. He was in Watchmen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he did great in Watchmen.
He was amazing in Watchmen. Yeah.
It was weird how they did his. You know what? That's the other thing I forgot to mention of like my things I liked in 2020 was Watchmen.
Watchmen was great.
I enjoy.
Yeah.
Although I love the show. I don't know if it needed to be a Watchmen show. I feel like I would have
That's
preferred
fair.
if it was its own show, because it feels like it doesn't. While it is a great commentary on race in America, like Watchmen, at the end of the day, the book is still a dissection of the superhero and that idea, mostly centered around the idea that like superheroes just don't work. It's a terrible idea in the real world. And so I just felt like the show kind of left that behind to just be strictly about race, kind of. And it felt like it was being pigeonholed by the idea of, yeah, but you got to throw in these superheroes though. But that being said, though, nonetheless, good show. If you like Regina King, watch
Our girl.
It's a great show, and her and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, I wanted them to be a couple in real life because they were such a good couple, cute couple in Watchmen. I was like, y'all should be together. He's a handsome black man. He's all fit.
He's very handsome.
Although she's married, isn't she?
She is
in real life.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Jazmine, did you have anything else that you're looking forward to?
I'm very excited for Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's I think that's coming out soon, right? And it's like,
is it? Are they streaming it then?
It's going on HBO Max. It's made by I think Warner Media. I think is distributing that movie, so I think it's just going straight to HBO Max.
And I've heard it's getting buzz, like awards buzz as well. So
yeah. I'm excited. I am so like forever impressed with Daniel Kaluuya's accents. Like the fact that he can nail, like just from the trailer, like the fact that he can nail like that generation's Chicago accent is like unbelievable. Like I can't do that, and I'm an American. Like I can't speak like that. He's so talented. Like in Get Out, I would have never known that he was British.
For real.
And with what was the one with Viola Davis that he was in? Shoot. He was like the bad guy. Widows. Yes. Yeah.
He was great in Widows.
Yeah. Flawless accent. And then you hear his like British accent, and it's not like kind of British, like homeboy is British. Like British, like that kind of British. Okay. He is so British. So the fact that he can like do these accents, he's just so talented. I'm so excited.
Nice.
I've been impressed with the crop of new Black actors, mostly on because the female side has never been lacking. The female side's always had great Black drama actresses, but on the male side, and I forget who it was. Somebody was like a Black actor. I want to say it was Denzel, but I don't think it was him. It was somebody else that they were like, it's hard. They were like, it's hard to find a lot of Black men that want to do drama, because most Black men want to do comedy, because it's where a lot of the money's at in Hollywood, because every movie has the Black dude who's like supposed to be in the background. He says, damn man, that's whack, you know, he's just a jokey guy in the background of the group of white friends. It's more work in that versus like being a Black dramatic actor. But you know,
I was just gonna say, I feel like there's a shift now, because there's so many things, you know, on streaming and on all of these platforms like HBO, like a Hulu, like a Netflix, that are very much known for their dramatic content. And so you have all of these new actors who are dramatic actors and who are fantastic dramatic actors who are coming up because of that. Whereas back in the day, you know, some of the only things you could get were either the box office movies or sitcoms.
So like seeing people like Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield, Brian Tyree Henry, even seeing the old guard come up, like Luke Wilson getting to do more stuff and stuff like that. Like I'm glad to see a lot more.
There's a Black men. Luke Wilson. Well, I know of the white.
Yeah, now I'm thinking of the white one. I was like, who are you thinking of? But yeah, the white one.
No, Antoine Fisher. That's his name, Luke Wilson. If you ever seen Antoine Fisher, he's also he's in a lot of stuff. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, I thought you were saying the actor's name was Luke Wilson. Never mind.
Yeah, that's
The actor's name is Luke Wilson?
Yes, at least I think so. Hold on, and
Okay.
well, now you're making me second guess myself. Hold on.
It's like the Michelle Williams thing, like the black Michelle Williams and the white Michelle Williams. Like black Michelle Williams is Destiny's Child, and white Michelle Williams, she's an actress. She was
actually,
she was
wrong.
married to. I don't actually know. That's unfair. She's an accomplished actress. She was on that TV show on FX a couple years ago. She won like an Emmy, right?
Yes.
Okay. I know who you're talking about. Okay. I was going to be like, she was married to Heath Ledger, but she's an accomplished person. Like, she deserves, she's accomplished.
I meant Derek Luke. That's who I meant, not Luke Wilson. I don't know where Luke Wilson came from. That's not his name. No, Derek Luke is
because I know Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's brother.
No, that's my bad. No, Derek Luke. I'm gonna put some respect on his name. Derek Luke. I'm sorry, brother. But yeah, I just, I'm like, I remember, I can't remember what year it was, but the year when Insecure came out, and then later on, Atlanta season 1 came out. I was like, that was the year when, because me and my dad have these conversations all the time where I'm like, it's not when I tell him, like, because his whole thing is, he's like, I don't understand why you say stuff like you're tired of seeing slave movies. It's like, I'm tired of seeing slave movies, not because I don't like history. I think Black history is very important, but like I'm a young Black man who grew up in the suburbs and went to high school, had a fairly normal, life. I didn't grow up too rough, but I had my experiences, whatever. And I've never seen anything on television or movies that reflects my experience as a Black person in America. And I'm just saying it'd be nice to see more shows like that. It'd be nice to hear more music from that perspective. Like, and so seeing stuff like Atlanta and Insecure, where it's like, it's a different perspective from the Black community. It's like, that's cool. I want to see more of that stuff. That's just
that was literally my only, and I don't even want to call it an issue because I loved Watchmen, but that was the only thing that kind of bothered me about Watchmen is we have these super, like, I think what I'm really sick of when it comes to Black people in movies and TV shows is like everything that we do does not have to be about racism. Like, yes, it's very real that we experience that daily, but like I watch movies to escape from stuff usually. I don't want to be like re-victimized, like, because other like non-Black people who watch that don't have to think about the trauma of Black people in the way that we do, because like those people are our ancestors. So it hits differently. Like it's always going to, no matter what. And I like that's my biggest issue, because I'm like, I loved Watchmen. I thought it was great, but I'm very ready for us to consistently, not every once in a while, like us, where like the family was Black and they like that didn't mean anything. Like it was just this dark-skinned Black family chilling, and they were like the center of this movie, and like you don't talk about their race. I mean, like there was that part where he's like, when she's talking about the Heideki, and he's like, what kind of white like nonsense is that? But that's funny, like that's not like a commentary on race. Like that's like a joke for us, really.
Well, it's just like it's no different than the Fresh Prince. They talked about in the Fresh Prince reunion, they talked about they would have table reads, and white people were more or less writing the show, but it was in the table reads that like the cast, because the cast is all Black, that they would chime in and say, oh no, they would never say that, or because we're Black, like that would never happen. And it's like stuff like that where it's like, saying like something's white or whatever, it's not about race. It's like, it's a culture thing. Like for Black people, we say stuff like that. We'll do stuff like that. It's just, that's just a part of our culture. No different than with white people, they do certain things that the Black culture, we don't do. That's just, and same with like Hispanic culture, Asian culture, whatever. Like everybody's got their thing, and that doesn't make it a race thing. That just makes it a culture thing.
Yeah, something along those lines, which I was debating putting on my list, was, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but Bridgerton on Netflix.
No, I haven't yet. No. Everyone's talking about it, so I feel like I should, because I feel like I can't scroll through Twitter without being a spoiler.
I already just watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, so I'm like, man,
Same.
I'm catching up on all my black stuff on Netflix.
Yes, from Shondaland. We love Shonda Rhimes.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's they so as you've probably seen from like the advertisements and stuff, it's you know black and white people in high society, 1800s England, just intermingling like it's nothing. There was, and I heard this is not a spoiler in any sense of the thing, but they mention at one point, like they allude to some sort of racial disparity, but then it's never really mentioned. And it was kind of a weird thing to place in there. But other than that, like it's just they're mingling, they're doing their thing. And like you were saying, it's like we don't have to constantly be victimized in every single thing that we see. We don't have to relive this trauma in every single thing we see. So if you're looking to avoid that, then I would highly suggest Bridgerton.
For
I
sure.
mean, it's just like I wrote, and it's funny because you two will be at the table read for this, but I wrote a script where it's like there's a character in there who's like an older character, and yes, he likes himself some fried chicken, and he likes like and even in the notes when I wrote it, it's written where it's very much broken English and whatever, but I wrote it that way because I'm like, for me, especially coming from the South, like there's a lot of older people that they talk crazy and they have like the most broken vocabulary ever, but they always were the smartest people in the room. And that's
Mhm.
where the spirit of that character comes from. And is not a thing of like, and someone might look at it like, well, that's a black person that's like they have the stereotypes. I'm like, no, they're just because they enjoy some of the things that stereotypically people say black people enjoy doesn't mean that they are stereotypes. It depends on,
Mhm.
it's about the spirit in which you wrote them in. I wrote it in the spirit of, I know older people who maybe they didn't get, who never graduated high school. Some of them never even graduated grade school. They never got it. They just dropped out of elementary school because they had to take care of their families. And yet they've given me pearls of wisdom that college professors have never given me. So it's like, and I wrote it in that spirit of like, you can learn something from anybody, even the guy who doesn't
Mhm.
have, uh, 3 years in college or, 3 degrees, sorry, from college and yada, yada. And so it's like, I would love to see more uh, black entertainment or really just entertainment in general. Because Soul, for example, just came out, and that was a great
Mm.
movie of respect to black culture, but it's not hammy. It's just like
I
you get the
still
scene at
haven't
the
finished
barbershop.
it. Dang, I need to finish it.
How have you not
Wait,
finished
wait,
it?
yeah.
How
How
could
did
you
you not
start it
finish?
and
Okay,
not finish
okay,
that
because
movie?
okay, let me explain myself. I was watching it. I was watching it on Christmas with my parents, and they were tired. And like 30 minutes into the movie, they were falling asleep, and I was like, guys. And so they were just like, let's can we stop the movie right now? We'll finish it later. Have yet to finish the movie.
I
So
just finished it without them and just like act surprised when I watch it with them. When I watch it with them again. I do that with my dad all the time. Sometimes he'll like not finish a movie. I'll just finish it without him. And then, I'll just wait for him to come back and I'll be like, oh, what? That I didn't know she was gonna do that.
It is a good one.
yeah.
I cried a lot.
Soul's really good. It's really good. I don't know why I forgot Jamie Foxx can sing, but he sings a song that's like in the credits for Soul. And I was like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
Jamie Foxx
He's
can
on
sing.
Gold Digger.
Yeah, you
You forgot
forgot.
about Gold Digger?
I forgot about all of the things Jamie Foxx had done up until that movie.
I was about to
Iconic.
I was about to sing it, but I don't think I can get that high, the note.
Ray Charles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Didn't he do the Ray Charles biopic?
Mm-hmm.
He did Ray
Mm-hmm.
Charles. He has a whole album. He has a whole music career. He has like multiple albums. They never
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
hit like I
Blame it
think he
on the
wanted them
booze.
to. Yeah, Blame It
Oh
was
my
pretty much the most famous
Yeah.
god.
song.
Unlocking memories I forgot about. Jeez. I forgot about that song.
But no, Jamie Foxx does a great job, and Tina Fey too. Watch Soul.
Yes.
We're not
Watch Soul. Finish Soul.
Yes.
Well, that's not just to Jonathan. That's to the audience too. Like anybody who hasn't seen Soul yet, and you have a Disney Plus account, there's no excuse. Watch Soul. It's a good movie, and it's a good time. You know, especially if you're of the African American persuasion. You'll enjoy yourself some Soul. You'll enjoy Soul. It'll be a great time. It'll be good times.
Yes. And on that note, I think that's a good place to.
That's my bad. I didn't mean for the whole thing to divulge into a commentary on race and culture, but it's just.
This is the time that we're living in, and it's gonna be the time that we're living in 2021 as well. So it's fitting towards the episode.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah. Yes. So on that note, I just want to say this was a wonderful episode. Thank you so much, Jazmine, for coming. You were a wonderful guest.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and I loved your input, and yeah, it was great.
I love you guys.
Well, we love you too.
You the best.
Yes. Do you have any social media you want to plug?
Or if not social media, any like programs you want to plug? Because I know you do the social work thing, so you know a lot of programs.
Ooh, yes. Oh, you know what? Actually, no, I'm not gonna plug where I work.
Okay.
I don't. Well, I'm not here as a representative of my job.
I wasn't gonna say,
but I will say,
yeah, I understand.
I will say, if you want to see me ranting, and I haven't been very active recently, but occasionally on Instagram, I like to drag people. So if you would like to follow me, my Instagram is my first and last name, Jazmine Shiloh, and it's difficult to spell, so we'll just leave a little note. And I would just say that I really would like to encourage people during COVID, but even post-COVID, like mutual aid for sure. Like giving your money to folks directly, like whether that be like GoFundMe, Cash App, Venmo. There are a lot of really good organizations out there, but research shows that people know how to allocate their own money, right? So if someone's in need, just send them $5.
Nice. Jerome, how about you? That was a good. We're past the holidays, but we should always be generous.
It's always giving season.
Exactly.
Yeah, always giving season.
Jerome, how about you?
You can follow me at Not Jerome Red on Instagram. And speaking of which, I'm doing a part of this event that goes on social media called January, in which a bunch of people, just like musicians, artists of all kinds, they like just make a song for every day in January. So for those who enjoy the beats that have been made for this channel, both for Behind the Usher Station seasons 1 and 2, and the beat that'll be on First Ones to Die, I'll be uploading a bunch of random beats that I make in like an hour probably. And some of them will be good, I'm sure. Some of them will be all right. We'll see how it goes. But I'm definitely, if you want to hear some more music from me, you'll get that there. Also eventually I'm trying to start my company back up, RoboZoo Media. So follow that on Instagram as well. More stuff is coming, I promise, even though nothing's up there on Instagram yet, but we'll get there. So those are my two.
Nice. And you can follow me at Jonathan Keys on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you like, whatever suits your fancy. And like I said in our Wonder Woman episode, support or donate to small businesses.
Yes.
Yes, we don't want to give those big businesses our money. But yeah.
Hold on. I think next episode, for those who want to know, is Selena. Speaking of J-Lo,
yes, we're a little late to the game because it came out like almost a month ago, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's better late than never.
Exactly. Oh, you didn't know that it came out?
Wait.
The Selena series?
No.
Yes, on
What?
Yes,
Netflix.
it's on Netflix. There's a series.
You can watch it now.
For Selena.
Okay, but J-Lo isn't in it, right?
No.
it's just
Okay.
In reference. I just J Lo is
Because
the
I'm thinking of
only.
like the movie, and we were like, it came out a month ago. I was like, what are you talking about? Okay, no, that makes sense.
No, that's just
What
in
is it
reference.
on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and you want to, because you know how we do, we're going to spoil the whole thing. We're going to talk about the whole show from start to finish. So if you haven't seen Selena yet, y'all, get it in this week, and come next week, we're going to have Selena series review for you. And who knows, we might enjoy it, might not. Only one way to find out. Keep listening. Come check out First Ones to Die on all the places you can find the podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or just go directly to the source, Podbean. All of those have apps. All of those can be found on the internet, so there's no excuses.
And we will be posting and uploading our episodes on Mondays from now on. We finally have a schedule. So Mondays, tune in.
8 a.m. 8
Yes.
a.m. every Monday, you will find an episode.
Yes. Well, that's it for us. You can follow us at I was about to say Behind the Usher Station. That's our old name.
This is gonna take a minute.
It's gonna at the First Ones to Die anywhere. We thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.